Imagine a language learning to wear a new coat, not by choice, but because a different court, a different tongue, and new fashions demanded it. Imagine street sellers, monks, knights, and ladies, all speaking versions of the same speech, yet each with a different accent. This is the story of English becoming something new. This is the Middle English Age. Everything changes with a single battle. In 1066, at Hastings, William the Conqueror wins. He becomes King of England, but he brings a language, Old Norman French. The court now speaks French. Law, government, fashion, French words rule them. Latin remains the language of the church and scholarship. English, the old tongue of the common folk, is pushed to the margins, but languages are stubborn. They borrow, bend, and survive. From this collision, Middle English is born, a hybrid tongue. Old English grammar loosens. New French and Latin words flood in. The language grows richer, stranger, more flexible. Picture a bustling market. A butcher calls his wares in the vernacular. Nearby, a nobleman speaks French to his steward. A monk writes in Latin in the monastery. All three live in the same town. All three use different words for the same things. For example, the peasant eats ox, the lord eats beef. The farmer plows, the chancellor writes plow spelled many ways. Food names, law terms, courtly words, they enter English as gifts and impositions. This patchwork creates a language that can be raw and earthy one moment, ornate and courtly the next. Middle English becomes the voice of a socially changing nation. Towns grow, trade routes spread. People from across the British Isles and across the Channel meet. New ideas travel with goods. With towns come new readers and listeners. English no longer belongs only to fields and hearths. It moves into markets, guild halls, and later into books meant for lay people. Poets and storytellers realize they can reach real audiences in the vernacular, not just Latin literate clerics. That's revolutionary. Language becomes practical and popular. Middle English is fertile ground. It births many literary forms. There are romances, long tales of knights, quests, courtly love, and enchanted halls. Think of brave knights tested by impossible odds. There are fabliaux, short, bawdy, comic tales about tricksters, lovers, and fools. These are the medieval sitcoms. They laugh at hypocrisy and human weakness. Religious life produces mystery plays and miracle plays, dramas performed by guilds that bring Bible stories to the streets. Ordinary people see sacred stories acted out in their own tongue. There's also visionary poetry like Piers Plowman that mixes social observation, spiritual longing, and biting satire. All of these forms shape a language used for many purposes. Imagine a glittering hall at Christmas. A stranger rides in, green as a living forest, challenging knights to a strange bargain. This is Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, one of Middle English's most haunting tales. It mixes pagan echoes and Christian morals, courtly elegance and raw nature. It's written in a rhythm that still sounds like music. Tales like this show how Middle English can hold contradictory things at once. The refined and the wild, honor and frailty, promise and test. No single figure towers larger in Middle English than Geoffrey Chaucer. He is a courtier, bureaucrat, traveler, and writer. Picture Chaucer on a pilgrimage with a band of travelers, each with a story to tell. The noble knight, the bawdy miller, the worldly wife of Bath. Their voices clash, charm, and reveal a society in all its colors. Chaucer writes in the everyday speech of London and the Southeast. He borrows French forms, yet he makes English sing. In the Canterbury Tales, English proves it can be subtle, comic, bawdy, and wise, all at once. One that April with his showers suit, just a few words, and an entire world of pilgrimage, renewal, and rumor opens. Middle English was not one single uniform language. Different regions spoke differently, northern, southern, midland dialects, each with its own words and sounds. Spelling was wild. The same word might be written 10 different ways. That made texts lively but confusing for readers across regions. Everything changes again with a new technology. In the late 15th century, William Caxton brings the printing press to England. Suddenly, books can be produced more quickly, and some dialects, and especially London's, begin to dominate the printed page. The press helps stabilize spelling and usage. It lays the groundwork for the next transformation, a leveling of dialects and the approach of what we call early modern English. Middle English is not only for court poets and clerics. It lives in the mouths of ordinary people. Ballads tell news and romance on village greens. Proverbs condense wisdom in a few sharp words. Many words we use today enter the language in this period. Life, love, labor, law. These foundations take on new shades and forms. Language becomes a mirror. It shows class, occupation, region, but it also becomes a bridge. People borrow and blend until new forms feel natural. By the end of the Middle English period, English has been remade. It has swallowed French courtliness and Latin learning, and it has opened itself to new sounds and words. Grammar has simplified compared to Old English. Word order grows more flexible. The language is lighter on endings and stronger in borrowed vocabulary. And yet, it is still in motion. The period's last decades glimpse a coming revolution, the great vowel shift, the spread of printed texts, the new energy of Renaissance learning. The stage is set for a language that will cross oceans and centuries. We have watched English change clothes, from the Old English of mead halls to the Middle English of markets and courts. We met poets, pilgrims, and printers. We heard voices both lofty and low. Next stop, early modern English, Shakespeare, the King James Bible, and a language that begins to look startlingly familiar. But remember, every modern word has a history. Every phrase carries echoes of marketplaces, monasteries, and rainy pilgrimage roads. When you speak English today, you speak a language that has lived many lives. Come with me next time. We'll meet the voices who made English modern.